Welcome to World Without You, a Sims 4 story inspired by Belinda Carlisle songs. Songs are part of the playlist but are not in my videos. In my video, I'll ask you to open her song links in a separate window at key points to act as soundtrack music to the scenes I have made in The Sims 4. May not work on a phone because two videos need to play simultaneously. The songs are linked from the official Belinda Carlisle YouTube page at this link. Welcome to World Without You, Episode 3. If you have not watched Episode 1 yet, please go to it and watch it. In the description of this video, you should see two playlist links. The first is Episode Playlist link. The second is the playlist of Belinda Carlisle songs that were linked from her official YouTube page that this episode will prompt you to play for my scenes. You'll see this message several times. Please pause this video. In another window, have the songs playlist open. Open the song title here, Song, but don't start her music yet. If an ad plays, wait for it to finish. Please pause her music at 0 seconds, then come back to this video and unpause this. This screen lasts 10 seconds. Then my scene will start with a 3-second overlay of hit play on both vids now as quick as possible, music first. Here is an example from episode 1 for the first music video. I have my video as well as her music ready to go in a little pop-up window. I can see both play buttons, so when I get to this screen on my video, I can just hit her play button and then mine as quickly as possible. And now, episode 3 of World Without You. I went to Park Shore Station to welcome Ivy home. As she hugged me, it was like I was looking in a mirror. We both were feeling the sadness and loss of a chance at love. But I reminded her that my mother just had a chance. And that it's never too late. We went shopping for some new outfits, and then it was time for the first day of school. Welcome to senior year. We were so excited. This year, Ivy and I had a lot of classes together, including drama. Hey Tiff, you won't believe this. Jack the plumber moved here, and he's going to school here. I just bumped into him in the hallway. There he is. You want to meet him? His aunt is one of our teachers. And he's in a lot of the same classes as us, including drama. Isn't that great? I'd love to meet your leading man. Not a moment later, I got a text from Ellie telling me that Harold had moved here and he was going to be going to school here. I was so excited. Jack and Harold were both in town. What are the odds? My friends call me Jack. It felt like the train hit me as a ton of bricks fell on me. That's because I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. What in the had just happened? I couldn't breathe. How did this happen? How? How did this happen? Is he Jack or is he Harold? Ugh, can't believe this. All those weeks and he never said his name was Jack. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say to her. I don't know what to say to him. Ugh, can't believe this. How did this happen? How could he not tell me his name was Jack? Who's Jack? Who's Harold? Look at her all happy. I wanted to be happy for her. Ugh, can't believe this. But how could I be upset? He wasn't my boyfriend. He was just a nice guy I was painting with. Ugh, what am I supposed to do? Ugh, what am I supposed to do? I wanted to run and hide. I needed to get away from them. Time was just dragging and dragging. She was so happy. And he seemed to be happy too. What in the am I gonna do? Why was this happening? I didn't even know he was coming back to town, and now I've got him back and I can't even talk to him. And I can't tell her. Saved by the bell, if only momentarily. They headed off to the first class. He didn't say anything, he just walked away. I needed to go somewhere and collect myself. Or fall apart. The girls' restroom was empty, and I was hoping it would stay that way. Someone entered and sat in the stall next to me. I tried to hold it back and wait for them to leave, but I just couldn't. Tiffany, are you okay? Marissa, is that you? Yes, Tiffany, are you okay? I don't know where I came up with it, but I told her, yeah, I'm just practicing for drama class. in case I need to cry. Well, you sure are doing a good job. I don't think you need much more practice. It felt like as if somebody had grabbed my stomach and squeezed it like a clown horn. I let out a tearful laugh. Oh, Marissa, thank you. If only I could control it a little better. It's not as easy as it seems. Hey, Tiff, I've been wondering, could you maybe help me out with drama class? I really want to get better. I don't have very many friends here. I mean, I really don't have any. I would really be happy to. Thank you so much, Tiffany. You're the best. The thought of helping Marissa seemed to cheer me up a bit, but there was still a problem. I would have to go to class with both of them. And this situation hadn't gone away. I would have to figure out some way to deal with this. If I could. It had to be something I could do. But I would need to hold it together until I found out what really happened. So I tried my best to psych myself up. Get ready to go face them. I would have to. The first class was going to be art class. I remember all that morning thinking about how much fun it would be to start off the day with art class. Maybe do some painting. I had no idea who was going to be here painting with me. And Ivy. We had a new teacher. She came over and introduced herself. She wasn't upset that I was late. Hi, I'm Crystal Stone. I'm the new teacher. She seemed pretty cool. Apparently she had done some world traveling. She liked to go rock collecting and look for exotic gems and different stones, and this didn't seem like the usual art teacher. I liked her already. And then she said, if you need to change, we've got aprons hanging up over there. I went and got changed, and she went back to the front and said that we were just gonna do some free painting today. Just work on small paintings, and she wasn't gonna judge us. Today was just about having fun and letting the inspiration flow. I was able to get a spot in the back, so I wouldn't be right next to them. But that also meant that I was watching them. We were free to paint anything we wanted. I felt like painting a comet hitting the Earth. but I felt I'd try something else instead. Trying to remind myself that he wasn't my boyfriend. And I was happy that he was back in town. We could at least be friends. And I really wanted to be happy for Ivy. She deserves to be happy too. I just didn't understand how this situation happened. How did she meet him? And what's with the two names? I just didn't get it. But I couldn't ask him with Ivy around. I didn't tell her about Harold. She doesn't know that I know him. How do I get him alone to talk to him without Ivy around? There's gotta be a way. I finished my painting and went up to tell Miss Stone to come have a look. Harold was done with his too, so she looked at his really quick and said he had done a good job. I said, "Nice painting, Jack." Miss Stone asked me what my inspiration was. I couldn't tell her, so I said some story about watching classic TV with my mom, and sometimes there would be shows with clowns. I really liked Miss Stone. I was glad she was a new teacher here. It was senior year, so I had taken a lot of vocational type classes. I had tried to get all the mandatory classes out of the way in the previous years so that I could do more fun classes in senior year. I was still lost and didn't know what I wanted to be. I couldn't be a singer. I wasn't sure if drama would be for me. So I had to try some other things to see if I liked them before I settled for something boring. The next class was baking. I had done the cooking at home, especially when my mom wasn't feeling well. But I wanted to learn more baking, so I gave that a try. Our teacher was Claire Norwood. I had heard that quite a few of her students had gone on to culinary school. I was really happy to be in her class. I had heard that she was a fun teacher. So now, class, I provided you with the ingredients and the instructions. Today we're just going to be mixing and tossing it in the oven. This is my secret recipe chocolate cake. I don't tell anybody my secret ingredient. We will be making cakes from scratch, but not this one. I don't tell my recipe to anybody. Once again, I kept my eyes on the two of them. Meanwhile, Miss Norwood had stood next to me to make her cake. We finished baking our cakes and then we were letting them cool, and everybody was just chatting. I was chatting with Mrs. Norwood. Chatting with these teachers was really helping the time go by. One of the things I love most about Miss Norwood's class was she always had a supply of to-go boxes, and we were always able to take at least some of what we made home. The next few classes I don't really remember, but Ivy and Harold weren't in either of them. The next one I had with them was creative writing. Miss Fiona Kimbrough taught that class. I had actually just recently met her. She worked part-time at the bridal salon, and I had actually worked on my mother's dress. She had the desks set up in a circle, unlike most classrooms. I came in and sat next to Marissa. Of course, Ivy and Harold, or Jack, were sitting together. Rather than call out names for attendance, she got up and came around and introduced herself to everybody. I thought that was a neat way to do it. I could tell she was going to be another fun person. Okay, everybody, for our first assignment, we're going to do something fun. You all have a different notebook in front of you with different cover images. Inside, a short story has been started but has not been finished. I'm going to have you all either choose that story, or you may get up and go choose a different story to possibly write. But once somebody chooses a chair, you cannot select that chair. When everybody has chosen their seats, that's the story they are going to finish. I thought Harold had chosen his seat, but then he came and sat next to me, and I thought maybe I can talk to him. I said, "You and I need to talk in private as soon as possible." She then went around to everybody and asked, "Okay, so what did you choose? And do you have any ideas yet?" And she would listen. I hadn't really thought of mine yet. I don't even know if I looked in it. I just chose a chair. I was too antsy. I wanted Harold to talk to me, but we just couldn't talk there. But I at least needed to know if he had said anything to Ivy about me. Or is this still a secret? Something needed to be done. Something needed to be said. Was I the only one that was confused? Everybody began to write their stories. After a while, Miss Kimbrough came and sat next to me. She asked me how the wedding had gone. I told her how wonderful it was, and that everything was great at home, and with Mom and Uncle Donald. And then class was over. Everyone got up to leave. I just kind of sat there in a daze. I guess the day's events were starting to catch up to me. I was kind of reliving and replaying scenes in my mind. It was almost like a broken record. Are you okay, Tiffany? You seem a little distracted. Do you need to get to your next class? She got up from her desk and came back over to me. She grabbed my notebook and sat down and took a look at it. Have you thought of any ideas yet for your story? Not yet, Miss Kimbrough. I'm a bit distracted right now. She handed it back to me and then asked, "So what made you choose this particular story?" I said, "To be honest, I haven't even looked at it." She said, "I know that's silly. I was watching you. You definitely got something on your mind. Would you like to talk about it?" Miss Kimbrough, that's really the trouble. I I want to talk about it, but I don't even know the situation. I'm so lost. I'm trapped between two worlds at the moment, and I don't know which one's reality. And I need some clarity. I need to find out what's going on, but it's so difficult right now. I don't want to say what the situation is until I find out, but I do want to talk about it. But I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. She started laughing as she said, "That's so funny. That story starts off with a confused character. Maybe you can write your story." "I think I'd like to try that, Miss Kimbrough." "That sounds good. I have a free period this hour. If you'd like to stay here, just tell me who your next teacher was supposed to be. I'll go tell them that you're with me." And so she did. We chatted a little bit, but I also wrote my story a little bit too. "You got about 5 minutes left, Tiffany. You don't have to turn that in. That's not an official assignment. We might go over a few of them tomorrow, but I won't ask you about yours unless you want to talk about it. Are you feeling better?" "Yes, much better. Thanks for letting me stay. I needed a break." "You're welcome." The last class of the day would be drama, with Ellie as the teacher. I had a chance to get there early, so I sent Ellie a text asking if I could speak to her in private before the class began. But I didn't get a response. She wasn't in the room when I entered, so I sat down, and soon the others joined me. We all started chatting with each other. Nobody noticed that the suit of armor was moving. We didn't see it walk up on the stage either. So she shouted something to get our attention. "I reckon that's called commanding the stage. Welcome to drama, y'all. I'm your teacher, Mrs. Ellie Bird. So y'all want to learn drama, huh? Might want to do some acting someday? Well, first thing y'all need to know is that drama is about emotion. You're feeling something, and you want the audience to feel what you're feeling. How do you do that? Well, sometimes it can be words, sometimes it could be gestures, it could be the scene, and sometimes it's the costume. For example, if I'm wearing a knight's outfit, you can probably expect there's going to be a battle or a joust. Somebody might get hurt or even killed. Suddenly she tore the suit of armor off like it was wrapping paper. Now if I was to be a firefighter, that would be another dramatic story. Another story where somebody might get killed or hurt or burned, and somebody might be saved. And then I could be a judge. Judge might be presiding over a very important case, or it could just be a family case. Could be a simple traffic ticket. But inside that courtroom, there's drama and emotions. There's winners, there's losers. And this is what's known as a quick change. How y'all like that? That's a showbiz trick for you. And now I'm going to change into my favorite outfit. This is my teacher's clothes. I feel like a superhero when I wear this. It's nice to meet y'all. Welcome to drama. Y'all excited to be here? I recognize some of y'all. Some of y'all had this class last year. And some of y'all did my play. We got a couple new faces. In my class, we don't do attendance. We do curtain calls. So y'all gonna go up one at a time, walk to the back of the stage, and then to the front. And I will call out your name. Mr. Dean Becker. Miss Jamie Robeson. Miss Tiffany Grace Hilliard. Miss Marissa Mendez. Oh my God, this was the moment. Is he Harold or Jack? Mr. Harold Harrison. She called him Harold. I knew I wasn't hearing things. She called him Harold. Harold? I thought your name was Jack. Miss Ivy Jade. Ivy looked so confused. I know that feeling. Mr. DeMarcus Bergman. Now y'all go right on ahead and give yourselves a hand. Y'all gonna be working together and we gonna be putting on some fine performances. And we gonna help each other. And we gonna have some fun. Ivy asked Harold about the two names, and Harold said that back home, kids would tease him and call him Harry because his name was Harold Harrison. And that's why when his friends started calling him Jack, he went with it. And really the only person that calls him Harold is Aunt Ellie. And she only calls him Harold, not Harry. It made so much more sense now. And I felt a bit of a connection to him even more. With the way people call me Frog. As far apart as I was from him right now, it made me closer. As long as Ivy didn't know that I already knew him, maybe I could calm down a bit and just let this situation play out. I needed to talk to Ellie in private, so I asked her. Mrs. Bird, can I speak to you in the hallway real quick? Please? Sure, child. Excuse me for a moment, y'all. Mrs. Bird? Ellie? Could you please try not to let anyone know that I already met Harold? Especially not Ivy. She doesn't know that I knew him. She met him at drama camp. She knows him as Jack and not Harold. It's a very confusing situation. And I don't want to hurt her or confuse her more. Child, I reckon you ain't got nothing to worry about from me. Should I be expecting you for a lesson tonight? I joked and said, well, I better before you replace me. Child, I ain't gonna replace you. But I bet you're feeling like doing something. Yeah, it's been a while. Now, class, the way I describe drama is think of a roller coaster. You get on that ride, and it slowly takes you up that hill. Sometimes it's a really big hill, but at the top of that hill, you're gonna go down after that. And after that is the thrill ride. And what you gotta do with your audience is you gotta drag them up that chain to the top of that hill. And if they don't get on that train to ride that coaster, you might not get them to. You want to get them to not only ride, but want to get back in that line and ride again. And maybe even tell their friends to come ride with them. So what we're gonna do is, y'all gonna go up on the stage in pairs, and you're gonna pick a card, and you're gonna role play what it says on that card with your fellow actor or actress. Some of y'all haven't met each other before, so this will be a good way to kind of share the stage. First up, we've got Mr. Becker and Mr. Bergman. Next up, Miss Jade and Miss Robeson. And then we gonna have Mr. Harrison and Miss Mendez. And since we got an odd number, I'll pair off with Miss Hilliard. Y'all did a fine job. Fine job. That's drama. You're trying to get people to feel what you're feeling. Even when you aren't even actually feeling that feeling. But you're trying to make people believe that that's what you're feeling. Y'all did fine. Well, that's our time for today. Any of y'all wanting to be part of the after school portion, we meet at Granville Theater Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays after school. Make sure you got permission before you show up to that. I don't want any parents hassling me. The first day was finally over. Ivy and Harold walked out of the building. I followed close behind. I needed to give Ivy a hug. I was really missing my best friend. I'd been acting like she was the enemy all day. She didn't seem to be suspicious of anything. So maybe he hadn't told her. Harold told us that he needed to get going. He was sorry that he wouldn't be able to walk us home. I figured I knew where he was going. I would soon be going there too. The whole way to Ivy's house, she just kept on and on about, isn't he a great guy? Isn't it so great that he moved here? She's so glad that I got to meet him. I wanted so much to be happy for her, but it was just so hard, and I couldn't tell her anything. Occasionally she'd ask if I was okay, and I'd say, yeah, I'm fine, it's just been a long day. But I just couldn't tell her how I was really feeling. And if Harold doesn't have feelings for me, then there's nothing I can do about it. And I shouldn't do anything about it. I left Ivy over on Dream Street and headed to the theater for my piano lesson. I didn't hear anyone else there, so I assumed I was alone. I could hear the lawn workers outside cutting and trimming, but otherwise the place was quiet. I was ready to play that piano. I don't know if the music was going to come, but I was ready for something. I needed to try. I was hoping for some inspiration. Funny how Belinda always seemed to have a song for the occasion. I know Ellie liked to brag about my piano playing, but I was no expert. I was intermediate at best. When I played that piano, it was mostly just playing the music in my head. Sometimes I wonder if I was even hitting the right keys, but the song was flowing. And that's what I heard coming from that piano. Ellie never judged me. When it was time for a lesson, she gave the lesson. But she wasn't one to stifle creativity or emotion. Like she said, the music has to come. She wasn't going to force the rules on me. I thought I heard something nice coming from up in here. I see you're back to feeling it, huh? That's good. We gonna have us a lesson today. Yes, Ellie. I'm ready. Good. First thing, whatever you playing, you can go right on ahead and finish it. Second, you gonna tell me what that song was you was playing a few minutes ago. I like that one. I don't remember what the song was that I was playing at that moment. I might have just been fiddling around. I did tell her that the other song was called The Loneliness Game. I thought I'd heard that somewhere before. Yeah, in my line of work, a lot of students bring some music and share it with me for auditions or what have you. If I recall correctly, that's that Belinda Carlisle. And if I'm also not mistaken, it's not the first Belinda Carlisle song you played at that piano. No, no, it's not, Ellie. You can't fool me. I've heard 'em a lot. I even have some of 'em. And I know that song that you played when Harold came. He really did come out of nowhere, didn't he? Yes, he seems to have a habit of doing that. I reckon you're right about that. He sure does. But he really is a good boy. Ellie said we should probably take a break for a little bit. So we chatted for a few minutes and then I went outside to get some air. It was really annoying with the lawn guys making all that racket. I couldn't stand the noise, so I headed back in. I was really excited to talk to Ellie about Belinda some more, see what songs she knew. I thought I heard some voices coming from the back, so I thought I'd give a listen. It sounded like Harold and Ellie. It also sounded like the back door was still open. I could still hear the long guys. Aunt Ellie, I got myself into a situation and I don't know what to do. I met this girl a few weeks back and we had a lot of fun together. I started to develop some feelings for her, but I couldn't tell her or go too far because I was leaving soon. Plus, girls always seem to get carried away around me. But I really had a connection with her, so that's why I asked if I could move here with you. But things are really messed up now. Her best friend also lives here and won't stop hanging around us. We're in a lot of the same classes, and it's so hard to talk to her with the third wheel always there. She's like some frog that won't stop croaking. I was shattered. I had to get out of there. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't cry. I was mad. I was just mad. That was it. Enough. I had had enough. This is the end of episode 3 of World Without You. I hope you enjoyed the first 3 episodes. Thank you for watching. Please let me know if you watched. Leave a like or a comment.